Peak District. I hope you enjoyed the previous couple of videos. I didn't put too many up, so it was just mainly a sort of on the way up and a few bits and pieces. And obviously the other one was the Matlock Bath Sunday bike meet, which was really good. Highly recommend if anybody's up that way. Great crowd, great bunch of people. It was really nice just to wander around, look at the bikes, etc. So well worth a visit if anybody's going up to the Peak District. So Matlock Bath every Sunday, it's absolutely packed. As you saw on the video, I ended up taking the ST up there. Last minute change on that basically. I wasn't planning to actually take it. The plan was, obviously I'd done all the work on the Varadero, so that was the plan. Unfortunately, Friday night, puncher on the way home. So it was literally a case of quick change bikes and load up the ST, which wasn't really sort of prepped or finished ready for that trip, but it did okay. There was a few issues, but that'll be we'll go through that in probably the next video. But today there's a couple of more bits I just need to do on the Varadero, so that's back in the garage. As you can see, a few bits on the bench today. Spark plugs need to be done, so brand new spark plugs, and also I changed the air filter, but I'd forgotten there are actually two. I don't know if you can actually see them. There are two of these little filters in the airbox. Just a very thin foam that sit one either side. I didn't realise until obviously when I was doing the main air filter that these were even in there. So obviously you can only get these OE. Basically you can find these online or go to your dealer. So yeah, the ones that are in there are completely perished, so these need to be replaced and spark plugs need to be replaced. So literally, as I say, bike's in, basically ready to go. I need to start taking the panels off, because obviously one of the plugs is buried in there, because obviously it's a VTR 1000 engine, and obviously the other one I need to take tank off. So tools I'm going to need today, 8mm T-bar, that's to take off the bolts at the front of the tank. 12mm T-bar takes off the rear bolts of the tank. Allen key, just to take out the screws on the side panels. And what I've had to do with this, I've had to kind of make up my own spark plug spanner, so to say. This is the one that Honda give you in the toolkit. So what I've had to do is I've basically used a smaller with a 3/8 socket on the end. Literally fits over. That is long enough. So that's my own kind of version on it. And then obviously 3/8 ratchet. So let's start taking the bodywork off. Alright, so first of all, seat off. Alright, I've got bolts here, here and here. I've already pre-loosened them. And that should just pop out. Right, I've already done the one the other side. The other bolt you need to take out is this one here, because this actually attaches through to the tank. Again, I've already pre-loosened that one, and I've taken out the one on the other side. So So that means the fairing can now move apart. Right, next one is the 2 tank bolts. So that's just T-bar. Again, I have pre-loosened them. Right, obviously before you take the tank off, you can see it there where my finger is, that's one of the fuel taps, and there's one on the other side. They literally need to be flicked to the 3 o'clock position from the 6 o'clock position. Make sure you do that before you take the tank off, because obviously when you split the hoses to get the tank off, you'll have fuel going everywhere. So up to the 3 o'clock position, just there. And I'll flick the other on exactly the same. Right, next thing to remove is the 2 bolts here. Again, 8mm socket, as I'm using T-bar. Again, I have slightly loosened these off so it's easier. That's one, and that's the other. Right, so that's the tank unbolted. All I need to do now is, obviously we've turned the fuel off, so it's actually, you can see it, this clamp here. Just move that backwards and then pull the fuel line off, and then exactly the same on the other side. Right, so everything's disconnected. Let's now remove the tank. Right, that's the tank off. There's one of the spark plugs. Obviously the other one's in the front. First, sort the airbox, get them filters replaced. Right, so let's just flip the screws. And that's the airbox removed. As I said, I previously actually replaced the main filter. That was done not long ago. Obviously people are going to be saying, well, why didn't you replace the other filters at the same time? Primarily, one, didn't realise they were there, didn't realise they were that in bad condition, and obviously I had to order them in. So yes, it means I have to strip down the bike again, but I don't mind. Alright, basically these are the filters. Let me just zoom out a bit. As you can see, they've just literally fallen apart. They just fit for the bin. When you compare them with a new one, big difference. So let's get these in. Alright, filters are inserted, as you can see. I've checked all the hoses that are in here just to make sure there's no splits or cracks. Giving it a quick wipe round. So now it's ready basically to reassemble. As I said, the filter was literally new not that long ago. These literally clip in on there. So it is just feed that back. Pop that back in position and then screw back in place. Alright, next up, well, we've got the tank off. Obviously this being a V-twin, that's the rear spark plug and cap. I don't know if you can see in there, but they're quite, let's get some light in there. There we go, there's the plug all the way down there, and the front one's the same, but obviously that's a little bit more accessible than this. You have to take most of it apart to actually get to it. So let's get that plug out. And that's the old one. Alright, let's get the new one in. Alright, so there's a new one. That's how it is, basically almost out of the box. I've already pre-gapped it, so I know it's the right. One thing you must always remember, especially on these bikes, take the cap off. As you can see, just uses a thread. Probably normally need to get just a pair of pliers on the end just to loosen it off. And stick it back on the old one. Right, so that's the new plug ready to go. Right, that's the back plug done. Back on with the cap. Push it down till it clicks. And that's the back one done. So let's crack on to the front one. Right, front one. If you can see, there's the cap there. It is nicely buried, awkward to get to. Obviously easier than the rear one. So obviously you've got to take most of the bodywork apart, so you can actually get to this. So again, this is exactly the same as we've just done on the rear cylinder. So I'm going to whip this out, and again I'll show you the state of the plug, and obviously then installing the new plug. There we go. It's the front one. So again, exactly as before, there's the new one. Obviously I've pre-loosened that one. Take that off. Already pre-gapped it. Now it's just a case of putting it back in again. So that's the front one done, and it's just a case of and that's on. So that that was plugs and the small filters, which as I say, they've just had it, they're just fit for the bin. All I've got left to do now is basically put everything back together again, which is exactly the same way as I showed you to take it out, so I'm not going to bore you with that. It is basically, as you watch the video through, you see how you take it off, reverse, put it back together again. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching and join me again next time. Cheers, bye.